welcome back to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ, your host. Tonight's a viewer question. The viewer will be named as Rosella. I received a private message from this person. Reading it brought back a lot of sick memories. I'll respond in a video. TJ, you are hilarious. Oh my god. Thanks for making me laugh seriously, because I'm still in it with it. Please, 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 can you make a video about trust? The it keeps saying, just trust. Don't question anything. Just trust. Because I have a big issue that his gal pal occasionally ends up crashing at his house, even though I express my not liking it. He says that I have to just trust. If there's no trust, there's no relationship. Yes, I agree. But if your pal comes over to help you with work, that's fine. But when it's getting late and she and he know already that I have a problem with her staying overnight, and I feel it's unethical and puts a lot of stress on me, he gets blanking angry at me, calling me suspicious and jealous. I don't care if he has female friends, but it's not appropriate to have her spend the night when he's in a relationship with me. 3 years. He says I'm indoctrinated with old dogmas and old-fashioned mind. What the blank? Do you think it's fair? He tells me ahead of time, though, like Mary's coming by to help me with work. But then I notice he tries to pick an argument with me before she does come by, so that way we won't call or text while she's there. Any suggestions would be highly appreciated on what to do or say to make him realize what a cluster B blank face he really is. I've told him before that he acts like he has narcissistic personality disorder. He laughs at me and says that I'm borderline personality disorder. I can guarantee you I'm not borderline personality disorder. I'm just too awake for his manipulations and spin doctor crap. Ugh, what to do? I'm drained. So the discussion is about trust. Well, first off, you're welcome if you're laughing, but yes, you're still with it, so we're going to be discussing trust. Well, your first few statements about that, where this person is demanding instant trust, the answer I would have is that trust does have to be earned. It's not just something a stranger meets you and says, oh, trust me, when you have nothing to base it on, because anybody could say trust me, and of course you don't want to think the worst of this new person, but at the same time you're also realistic. So trust, yes, it must be earned. It's not just given away freely. I've been involved with a person before that would pull that trust crap, and they hadn't done anything to demonstrate or prove they're trustworthy, but when things indicated that maybe the person wasn't trustworthy, it was, you just need to trust me. You've got a problem. You need to trust me. And that, again, is unearned trust. And then as far as the gal pal, if this person is serious about you and really cares for you and your likes and dislikes, and it's been 3 years, I would say that if this girl continues to spend the night there, I would suspect something fishy's going on, because that isn't something that just happens. That's something that happens for a reason or on purpose. It's not normal for that to happen, especially with two people who supposedly aren't dating. It sounds like a cluster B monster who's having its cake and eating it too, but keeping that from you and demanding you just blindly trust. Because honestly, what reason does the girl have to stay all night? I mean, especially if she even had a small inkling that his girl didn't like it, then you'd think she would be the adult and say, oh, your girl doesn't like it, I'm not staying, boom, and leave. But no, it still happens. That reminds me of a situation I was involved in. When I had signed the lease over with this creature and lived in this place together and couldn't just turn around and leave that easily because it was in writing, I noticed shortly after we moved into the same place, I'd be working later than this person, and I'd get a phone call or I'd call, and I'd hear the sound of bars and glasses and people talking, and I think, yeah, here I am slaving away at my work, and this person's in some bar, and I would ask, so, who's there with you? And I would be given a list of names, and the very last name would always be the ex that it still worked with and had previously dated and transitioned over to my court and it gave me a sick feeling, and I'd say, look, I don't think it's a good idea that you work with this person all day. You used to be dates. Now after work you're going to bars with it too? Doesn't sound right. And of course none of it was ever listened to or paid attention to. And I tried everything I could think of. I'd even say things like, look, let's say your daddy's at work. Do you think that your mother's going to go off with the boyfriend she dated right before your daddy and spend the day in a bar with him while your daddy's at work? I don't think so. So what makes this any different? And of course there's no answer, no response. Of course the person ends up being up to no good, which is why I feel that in this situation that's what it sounds like, because this seems like a daredevil. This person pats itself on the back thinking, I got my girl at her home and this chick here in my bed, oh, I've got it all. And they think that they're really something, and it gives them a big dosage of that supply, because all it has to do to you is say, you just need to trust me, you have a problem, and then carry on with whatever it's doing. But yes, your thoughts of it being unethical, yes, and putting stress, yes, especially if the person continues to do it. Plus, this indoctrinated with old dogma sounds like an excuse. There's a remedy for that coming up in a moment. He tells you beforehand that she's coming, but what struck my attention here was that whenever this happens, he picks an argument, because that means you won't speak for a while. That's a classic cluster B trait that they'll do. I knew one before that didn't like the fact that I used to spend one night of the week without this person, and so every afternoon, that particular day, I'd notice some kind of fight being picked. Out of nowhere, this person's deliberately trying to cause some kind of argument. And it's mad, or it was trying to control. But it's a little bit different situation, because in this situation the person was just acting angry, but maybe it was doing it so there wouldn't be any conversation, so it could run off and do whatever it was doing. But as far as suggestions, well, if you've done all you can, you've said all you can, and you're still intent on staying with this person, because if you said, I'm through with you because you're doing this with this girl all the time, you'd be told, oh, you're crazy. I told you, she's just a friend. You've got a problem. You need help. You'll hear stuff like that, which is totally retarded, and you can turn that around on its head. Now, I don't know all of your situation, but my suggestion would be for you to find some hot male, some friend of yours, maybe a friend you already have, maybe one that your guy's jealous of. The next time your guy does this thing with this girl, you say no words, say no plans, and simply disappear, go off with the hot male friend. Now, as far as ethics, if you want to stoop to his level, you could do it all, but you may regret that later. So the best thing would be to spend some time with a male friend, and organize it so that you spend the night at this person's house. Then see how much this non-indoctrinated person with old dogmas feels about the old-fashioned way you've been. Many times, though, these creatures know that that is overstepping a boundary line of you, the target. They know you wouldn't dare do that, so they think they can do it without any worry that you'll do it because you have too strict of moral standards. That's when you have to do in Rome, like the Romans do, and let go of that, because it's only going to cause a weakness for you to hold on to these morals when dealing with this particular person. Now, it doesn't mean to change who you are in everyday life. It's strictly to this person because they've earned it by what they've done. But yes, if you've made it clear you don't like this overnight thing, and you notice the pattern of arguments right before it happens, you may also want to plan a surprise visit. Bring over a blanket and some strawberries and say, I thought we could have a romantic what's going on? And see if you find anything happening bad. Sometimes you have to take it to that level, because if you leave it up to them, they'll just lie, and if it works and they're still doing it, they're getting heavy doses of supply. Hidden cameras are helpful too. But yes, it's one of the worst feelings of betrayal to have some fool claim to be true to you while it's playing around right under your nose in some cases. Now, I don't know for sure that's what this person's doing, but it sounds pretty fishy. There are lines, boundary lines, that friends know about. So even if she's tired, well, she can take a shot of coffee and drive herself home, or not be there so late so she gets so tired. Many things can be arranged, but these sound like excuses to have another chick on the side. Get out your detective gear or contact your private investigator and get to the bottom of it. Good luck to you. So, in conclusion, Rosella. The key word in the guy's statement, if there's no trust, well then there is no relationship, sounds like that is being used as a gaslighting tool. It seems awfully one-sided because it again is implying that trust is just to be given freely, which it's not. Plus, it hints at the daredevil. This person hasn't been caught red-handed at anything, so it's got that on its side, so it makes it easy for it to just insist you just need to trust, even though the circumstances are retarded. Like I suggested with the counter manipulation of doing the same thing, if the tables were turned, I don't think this person would like it. And then that would give you the opportunity to say, well, you're indoctrinated with dogma. What's wrong with my best friend and I spending the night together? You do it. But I also realize that may not be your style. It may not be in your repertoire of morality. And that may just be what this guy is banking on, because he ain't got no boundaries. He'll do anything with anybody. You have strict boundary lines and rules, so he's planning on you maintaining those. So if you did, by chance, find a good hot friend to spend the night with, it's very likely he would just say, the only reason you're doing that is because I have my friend spend the night with me. Well, it very well may be. But the point is, it wants to keep you in your little box, in your little compartment, and wants to be free to do whatever it does. And then as far as the anger, that is showing that this creature has no empathy for you. There should be no anger. If you two are in love and a special item, and something it does is very upsetting to you, you would think, like in the love bombing phase, it would do anything and everything it could to alleviate that and immediately tell this girl at work, I can never have you over again, period. But instead, what does it do? It continues doing the evil behavior that it knows bothers you, and clearly your concerns and needs are second fiddle to his. That is lack of empathy. It's as if you're just supposed to accept whatever he throws to you, and clearly it's not okay with you, but does that matter to him? No! Which shows you where his loyalty lies, with himself and that chick. Also, you probably have boundaries where you have made it clear you don't think that's right, yet it continues to do it and continues to speak with you and be with you, so it's kind of a way of getting you to overstep your own boundaries for its own sick pleasure. And then the part about calling you the BPD, borderline personality, that is a classic technique with these creatures, which I've learned. You can't reason with them. You can't talk sense into them. For example, if you're being abused by one of them, like I have been, and I've even said, hey, what you just said there, that was abusive. Their knee-jerk reaction is, oh no, it's you, you're abusive. Well, that's kind of like you saying to the other person, you've got narcissistic personality disorder. Well, they're going to take that as just an insult, like you threw a piece of mud at them, and come back with, well, you're a BPD. And then there's nothing discussed. It takes the conversation elsewhere because you're onto something. You're stating a fact, yet it's throwing something right back to you, which alleviates the need to address your concern. Which, again, a loving, caring person would listen to those words like it did when it love bombed, and would say, wow, I guess you must be right about this. It really bothers you. I'm going to fix it. But no, that doesn't happen with these creatures. But the main thing here, I think, is as long as you're there tolerating this behavior, it believes it's winning because it's got you, it's got her, and whomever else it's hiding. We all know how these creatures feel. These creatures feel that if you're still around, even with knowing what you know, then they feel you're even more deserving of their evil behavior. And it's a sick thing. But don't get too far into it because they love to press those boundary buttons, get you to cross over your boundary lines. It escalates, so chances are you might be better off suggesting he and that coworker make it work. You wish them luck and buzz away.
I am the narcopath, honey, and you ain't.
Look, I know it's been about a year since I've been with you, and you probably wonder why your phone keeps ringing, and you keep getting calls for Sophia Smallstorms, Tamika Smith, Candy Cantaloupe, all those names I've made up for my credit cards I used to get. It's the company's fault for not checking the names.
Yes, they're all calling to try to get my money, and you told them probably I didn't live there, but they didn't give up, did they? They never do. That's right. I took out all that credit. I used all those cards. I charged up all that mess.
And left your phone number. That's why you're getting those calls. But they're never going to believe you when you tell them I don't live there anymore. Good luck with that, but I figured you should know, because they keep calling, I'm sure. Now that you know, I've got another credit card to go apply for with a fake name. Ta-ta, I have several.
I know you are one of my friends who's at the watering hole, who I went off to speak with privately, so your ears couldn't hear. He told me he was having a big Christmas party, and I thought, well, that sounds great. I was invited, so I came over to you and said, oh, my friend's having her Christmas party. We're welcome to go. Well, in between that week, I was fixed up with another guy behind your back that you were not meant to know about, who happens to know the same guy throwing the party. That complicated things, because he saw us together and invited both of us to the same party. Next week, I went and talked to him again. As far as you know, I went to him and told him, oh, your party sounds great. Can I bring my friend? And pointed to you. And I said, oh, he's just a friend. The truth was, I knew that he knew about the other guy. Plus, I knew they were all invited. So I just asked him to fix me up with one of his other friends. And again, stressed that you were just a friend. And then I marched on right back to you and said,
honey, we ain't going to that party. He's trying to fix me up with one of his friends. I told him I was 100% satisfied with you. The nerve of him. Of course I did that, so you would not like him, and hopefully would cause some trouble in my name. Plus, I couldn't afford to see the other guy I've been dating behind your back and you in the same place. I had to think of something. I'm very intelligent.
Once when we were dating, you had the nerve to ask me why I would take out all those credit cards and then not pay them. And I told you that is not an appropriate conversation for us to have.
Well, now that we're through and I'm giving confessions, I might as well tell you what's going on. As you know, I'm the narcopath, and I live for the moment. If a company's stupid enough to send me a credit card with a $1,000 limit, well, honey, I'm going shopping. That's what I'm going to do. It's natural. What do you expect? I went shopping. I wanted the latest records and CDs and the latest equipment out there, as much as $1,000 could buy. I needed it. I wanted it, and I bought it. I took it home. When the bill came, I threw it away. I don't need that bill. I live in the moment. At that very moment, someone was gracious enough to give me the funds to purchase what I wanted, so I did it. That's the end of that story. Once I own it and I have it, don't be sending me a bill for something. I ain't paying it. I got it because you gave me the money, whoever the company was. I see no reason to pay it back. I need the money for something else. I need to live. When those companies send me statements and letters and bills and charge me fees, I just say, well, screw it all. I don't care about that. I just throw it away and don't look at it. That's my way of dealing with responsibility. If I can't get something right now for that money, then why would I send it to that company? They've got to be stupid. Now, when they sent me the card, I went on a shopping spree. When a bill comes, that's no fun. I'm just going to throw that in the trash. And that's why I always change my phone number, because I don't want those fools calling me. They harass me. They need to get over it. They gave me the money, and I spent it. End of story. I ain't paying nothing back. Who do they think they are? Ugh. How dare they?
And you have